I'm going to do as an experiment is play with the traction control on a nasty, tight, very dirty road as you get up farther. And as I get up farther into that dirt, I'm going to make a switch to rain mode to see what it does going through slick, tight corners. How much power it takes away and how much it prevents me from lighting up the rear tire on exiting these. Just a normal, what I'd call street mode right now, which is called Sport. This kind of road, you got to be real careful for cars who are stopped in the middle of the road and everything else for taking pictures. Let the dirt begin. So I'll be first, second gear here. Short shifting, you wouldn't want anything else, so you're just going to cause yourself a big amounts problem. I think in situations like this where they're talking about the 2012 model, better throttle application. It's not that it's bad on this, but if it were more sensitive at a little bit better feel coming out of tight street corners like this, it would be an improvement. It seems to be the kind of thing they worked on. And then in race mode, you want it now. Brakes work really well. I know they're incredibly powerful, as I witnessed on the racetrack, but you gotta pull them, and you gotta pull them hard at times, like on the racetrack, and then they deliver. For street application, I wish they were a little bit easier to pull and get more out of without the same effort. On the street that would help. I'm not sure that would help on a track. So this is the kind of road you trust nothing, nowhere, no time. Last time through here I saw a little deer jumping up across the road. That was the first. A little bit of a flat spot, rolling it on there in first gear. Can't always pick up sand and grit across the road with the camera, so I'll kind of call it out. Now it's times like this when you start revving it and say you go out of a corner like this and you're revved, that's when you stand a chance to really lighten it up, and that's where rain mode I think could really help. Not to mention it already has traction control, which is going to kick in at some point. 1000cc sport bike is not my first choice for a road like this, but it's a great place for testing. Good control over kind of like little stutter bumps. Not smooth, but control's perfect. A lot of people asked about dragging the rear brake, what it does, and they kind of wanted me to give a tutorial on it, which is not what I do. But corners on this road where you want to keep more stability, you want to keep the bike upright or keep it from spinning up, you drag the rear wheel. I mean, you just go out and try it and you'll feel what it does, and then you can go from there. But I can drag through here, through gravel, and it keeps the bike more upright, doesn't let it spin out and kick sideways. That's what it's for, to give you more control. Anti-lock kicking in the rear. I used to have anti-lock turned off on the rear. When you have anti-lock turned off in the rear, which is something I really like, you get a red warning light up here on the dash. Lots of gravel, lots of sand. Last time I came through here, it was all dirt. Washed over. Very slick stuff there. Do you see the bicycle in your picture? Another really slick corner. You don't want to brake into that. You want to brake before it, transition, then you can accelerate just like a trial bike. The bike sounds awesome through that enclosed stuff there, by the way. That would keep me from wanting an aftermarket exhaust. Try to go to second and lug even more, see what kind of control I got in sport mode. Drag the rear brake. Too dirty, too slow. Got to go back to first. My lining in my glove is keeping my pinky asleep. Then I get it freed up. I sweat and pulled the liner back a little bit in the glove. One of my worst things I hate. The faster you go, the lighter the steering is, more it comes into its own. Good steering, really good steering. It's going everywhere I point it, around rocks. Yeah, the steering is surprisingly good even at this speed. I didn't expect it to be. BMW's just been nailing steering on all their bikes. Bike shifts well without the clutch, like right there, up and down, no clutch. I wanted my hand on the bar, covering myself more than I wanted to use the clutch there. I've got a no clutch for a while here. Some of my friends ride that way all the time. Dirty corner, lots of rocks here. Dirty. Rocks. Just never ends on this road. Okay, the bike's actually done better than I expected it to. So I've been on some tight back roads and it just didn't flow that well. Here it's from on power, off power, braking, not braking, and it's delivering really well. Didn't expect it to do this well. big rocks. Thank you. Rocks, gravel. I'm certainly not going a fast pace. I'm trying to go a controlled flowing, and that always makes us a better rider. Controlled and flowing. Another car coming up. Now this bike does wear out my hands and my wrists. I've always noticed that about the bike. It's not terrible, but it definitely wears, and that's, you know, that's the forces you create on such a fast bike, pulling and stopping, and of course sport bike clip-ons down low, big part of it, most of it. That'd be cool if we got some fall colors here. California, we never get any of that. Switching directions quick there at slow speeds, first gear. Good stuff. Dry this bike is 304, I believe. 2012 model. They showed it under 400 pounds dry, just barely. Oh, the 2012 model gets a controllable steering damper, which I have no problem with, because this bike on the highway feels like it has a steering damper that just barely is on. So when you're going straight down a freeway, you fight it sometimes. Sometimes you notice it, sometimes you don't. So you're putting in an input and you're kind of it back and forth a little bit. So if I have a manually adjustable hunting suits, if I have a manually adjustable, I can make sure it's totally off for like the freeway. Because I noticed that yesterday, and then part of the day I never noticed it. Okay, this road is slick on the inside, a lot of fun. Should be a lot of bicycles, hunters. That's not fun. Very slick road covering there from the tree stuff. The riding position for tight street like this is working very well. Nothing's getting to me. I'm active, so it's easier riding than if I were just droning down the freeway. Some very, very slick stuff on this road, especially on the inside, where most of the year you got water, like you can see the moss stuff coming off the inside and making it slick. And this loose stuff from the trees right now. A little slide in there. The anti-lock let me lift the rear slightly there for a second, so it's aggressive, which I like. Found the G650 GS very aggressive anti-lock, which I really liked. I just never trust the surface here. You want to brake before you get to what's slick, so you can control yourself over it. You don't want to be braking hard on it ever, because that's all it takes one time. Rocks. Sharp rock, want to miss that. Tell you what, if you accelerate or clutch it in first gear, things happen really fast. May not look like it in the video. Trust me on that one. Oh, traction control kicking in. Icing up my drive, making me safer. I don't have a problem with the bike making me safer, as long as they allow me the option of turning it off. Gravel rocks. Gravel. Good braking, nasty surface, hooked up really well. Because not all of us ride on the racetrack and all the time. Most bikes are ridden on the street. People are going to look for back roads. I care how it's going to work there. I don't want to accelerate there. A lot of loose stuff. A lot of leaves on the inside, so I'll come here because I can see around the corner, as I can still do. I want to stay off the leaves. Now go wide, look around the corner. I have to slow a bunch because I did that. That's okay. Gravel, slick. I'm doing one finger braking. I just don't feel comfortable with these gloves doing two. I would rather have two because it takes a pull. It's going to wear out my finger, as this road does. Let me stand up the rear a little bit there. Cool, aggressive, love it. Let me use my ability to brake. Looks really slick and pretty. Look around the corner. Unleash the monster. Don't get ahead of yourself and go wide in corners, because then you won't be riding very long. A smooth, strong throttle application is much better than what I did earlier, clutching it, gassing it. It's faster, it's more controllable. Not as much fun, but okay, real slick, beautiful here. I'm gonna go this side. Little unweighting there over a bump. Wait till you come down, brake hard when it unweights. Lots of gravel. We'll just go till we run out of tape, so to speak. Too much fun here. Gotta stay wide. Over the bumps. Check out how suspension does on this. They speed up more. Good control braking over the bumps. It's stiff, that's why it's in control, I believe. Rocks. Stay wide. Car coming. Good over the bumps once again. A little harsh, but perfect control. Stay wide, it's kind of corner sucks you in. Drag my brake around there to stay where I wanted to stay. to do your braking as you're approaching a corner, so that once you get to that corner, you can just ride through the corner instead of still braking. It's a big safety thing. Bumpy, bumpy. A lot of rocking and rolling on bumps. Little jump there. A lot of off-throttle deceleration at revs. It's on quite a bit off-throttle. Brakes haven't faded the least. I just heard a little squeal as I drug the brake a little, but no fading. That lofted the front wheel a little bit and carried it. Traction control allowed it. Just in the sport mode, race allows a lot more. So you don't have to use the revs, you can just cruise, short shift. A lot of fun on this. Excellent, no clutch shifting there, up and down. It just gives you more control of your left hand if you're going over bumps or going to brake hard. Your hand's already totally set. That's why on a track, that's the way most people ride. I'm just strange, I use the clutch part of the time.